Did you do your introduction? I just go
It's
stand
hard.
here. I missed my hair.
Oh goodness. Hey y'all, this is Caitlin from Southern Vegan Struggles. Miguel's trying to find us some music on Pandora.
That's not too harsh. She's done got salt.
Anyways, we're gonna do a recipe tonight, and it's gonna be black bean burger. Can't turn my camera around, so here's some of the ingredients. I'm gonna have to pause it and then turn the camera around. It's very simple and it's very good. Everybody loves it, right, babe? One of the hardest things to figure out is to make food that is good for not only you, but your family who's not vegan. So, this recipe pleases everybody in my house, so let's get started. Alright, so in this recipe you have zucchini, 2 zucchinis, and I was talking to a friend the other day and she just made me have an epiphany that if you put this stuff in a food processor, it's a lot easier. So in this recipe, I got this recipe out of a book, and I'll link everything down below in the description box. But, so in the recipe it says to grate your zucchini and chop up your black beans and dice up your onions. So I did all that the first go around, and then I was like, gosh, this takes forever. So we put everything into the food processor. So I just chop it up into big chunks, and then it goes into the food processor.
And why didn't you think about that the first time?
Because of Southern Vegan Struggles, that's why.
More like Southern Public School struggles.
So here they say go into the burgers. You have liquid smoke, which gives it that smoky burgery taste that you get in regular hamburger. And then you have tamari, I believe that's how you say it, or soy sauce.
Hey.
Some olive oil, and I already have that pre-measured out, so it just goes in the food processor. When you get done blending it. Okay, here's my beans after they have been rinsed. And we're going to heat them up just a little bit, and then we're going to stick them in the food processor and blend them up. Are you videoing? Alright, so our beans are done getting a little hot. We just put them in the food processor. And you put a little bit of oil in there so that they don't stick too bad. And just pulse it a little bit. That's it. So, see the liquid in the bottom? That happens when you don't chop everything and you do it in the food processor. So the way to get rid of that liquid is to add more than what it calls for on the breadcrumbs. When you send people to the store, you kind of have to go with the flow. So tonight, our whole meal is vegan except for our breadcrumbs. Gresso breadcrumbs has milk and eggs in it, but that's okay because what we're going to do is we're not going to cut this out and we're not going to send it back to the store. We're just going to go with the flow. So we just got to let it go. And then
Get back better at it next time.
So I put my breadcrumbs in. I don't measure my breadcrumbs. I just pour it in, and then I stir it, and then I pour it in, and then I stir it until it gets to the consistency that I like. You want it to stick together. You don't want it to be too wet. When you put in your breadcrumbs in there, it'll start to get a little bit harder to mix together. That's when you know you're getting about there. Now let's say that you added too much breadcrumbs, you just add oil to balance it back out. It's sticking to your spoon now, so Yeah, you're ready. You're ready to start patting your burgers. I put a little bit, I don't have cooking spray, so what I do is I just put a little bit of oil on my pan. Just kind of spread it around. When you pat your burgers, just remember that they don't expand, so what you see is what you get. If you want a big burger, you pat yourself a big burger. But if you want a normal sized burger, you just do a normal sized burger. So here's our burgers when we're done patting them, and then one thing I forgot to do is put our seasoning, and you can put any kind of seasoning that you want to, any kind of seasoning that you used to put on your meat, any kind of seasoning that your family likes, you just sprinkle it all, and usually you're supposed to sprinkle it all in your mixture, but it's not going to hurt just to go ahead and sprinkle it on top either. It just kind of gives it a little bit of extra love. Set your oven to 450 degrees and you pop them in there for 40 to 45 minutes depending on how crispy you like them. And what I do is I flip them halfway through. So halfway through we're going to come back and check on them and flip them. And then we might sprinkle a little bit more adobo seasoning on there. And yeah. We're going to make one more recipe tonight, and it's a recipe I've never made, so this should be fun. This is off Pinterest, so a lot of my recipes off Pinterest don't work out too good. That's why I'm doing this, because we're going to keep it real. Because Pinterest, they be telling lies. So this is bruschetta with roasted garlic is the name of this recipe. And yeah, so let's get into it. See how this one goes. This bread for the recipe a week ago and it's no longer good, so we're going to do regular bread and we're going to toast it instead of a French baguette that is the recipe calls for. So we're going to have bruschetta on toast instead of a toasted French baguette. But so far so good. It looks really good. We're going to pop it in the refrigerator and let it marinate and sit for a little while, and we'll probably have it with dinner. I'm going to have it on my burger. So I'll let you know how. Okay guys, so that's the end of the recipe kind of video I had planned for tonight. I just wanted to touch a little bit on the breadcrumb situation. I don't let that kind of stuff really stress me out. I am vegan to the best of my abilities, but stuff like that happens and you can't just not eat it or, you know, send somebody back out to the store after they've worked 10-hour day and you yourself has worked a 10-hour day. You just don't feel like it. So just when you're first starting out in something like this, if this is something that interests you, you have to kind of roll with the punches, because it's not easy to just know offhand what has milk in it and what doesn't have milk in it and what has eggs and what doesn't have eggs. So it can still get kind of hard when you're trying to figure stuff like that out. But just roll with it. Don't let it consume you and think that, oh my gosh, I'm so horrible because I ate this or I drank this and it had a little bit of milk in it and I didn't know. Of course, in this situation, we did know that it did have milk and eggs in it after I looked at it when he brought it home, but it is what it is. Don't let it stress you out. It kind of drains you and then you just feel defeated all the time. So it's best that you don't worry so much over stuff like that. And there's always going to be someone saying, well, you ate this and it had milk in it and blah 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 blah, and you know that can get a little frustrating, but it is what it is. You need to live your life. Something else that I wanted to talk a little bit about is when I first went vegan, of course it was really hard because you see all the stuff that you're familiar with when other people in the house are eating, but then you have to almost kind of limit yourself to what you bought specifically for you. So it's kind of difficult because you see what you're used to and what you would usually put on your burgers, and then you have to figure out how to make your burger just as good as it once was. So like you saw in the video tonight, we have Hellmann's, we didn't bring out the cheese tonight for some reason, but they always have cheese on their hamburger. In my house, we keep it, you know, there's a vegan way and then there is the other way, and I don't stress over it. I don't try to shove it down their throat that, you know, well, you should be eating blah blah blah, or you know, you should be eating this and it's healthier for you. I mean, they know that. I don't have to keep shoving it down their throat, and I'm not going to, because I want them to be happy. If that makes them happy, if that makes them happy to eat stuff like that, I don't care. I'm happy for them, but that they're happy. But just like they're happy for me the way that I have chosen to eat. It's kind of I'm not here to sit and say that the way that I eat is 100% perfect, because there's always flaws in everything. And when I first started on this journey, it was to help my digestive issues that I had. I had absolutely no digestive system at all. Nothing was working down there. Okay, so without going into TMI, that's one of the reasons I started watching all these YouTubers that were vegan, and that was the number one thing that they said, was that it helped their digestive system. So that's why I started originally being a vegan, and then the research came into it, and then the documentaries came into it, and then it was just like, oh my gosh, this is not right for me. So that's why I had decided to go vegan, and that can be a whole nother video for another day. But what I'm trying to say is, when you, or if you want to start on this journey also, you can't expect everybody else to follow you, because it's not going to be like that. And when somebody says, or somebody you're not here to threaten them. I think that's a really big deal that people don't understand, is I don't care how you eat. You know, just like you say that you can't do the way that I eat, I can't do the way that you eat either. So it is what it is. I mean, you can't expect your family members to eat the way that you are trying to eat, because it's just going to make everybody mad. You're going to get frustrated because they're not eating what you're eating, and they're going to get frustrated because you have went far left and now you're not eating what the norm is in the household. So if you're on this journey and this is something that you do want to try to do, just do your thing. I mean, you need to go buy your stuff and you can eat just right along with them. They have vegan mayonnaise, vegan butter, vegan cheese. They have almost everything that is not vegan now. So just do your thing. I mean, you just can't let it worry you, and don't stress about it, because then you're just going to make yourself miserable. So just do you. And that's what I do, and I'm happy with it. And my family's happy with it, and we just kind of coexist together. So, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll just keep pumping out more content of stuff like this. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys next time.